Tech for Senior. It is the 18th of October. It's a gorgeous day out today. Welcome, everybody. We have a great show for you today. You probably have noticed that my co-host, Hewie, is not with us today. He's healthy. He's fine. In fact, he's out moonlighting. He's going to be doing some electioneering stuff, and he needs some training. Now, he did this last year. So he did miss a Monday, and when he rewatched the show last year, he was mad at me because he said I never mentioned his name once. All right. So today I want everybody to, when I say I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and I want everybody to say Hewie, okay? Because then I can say, okay, there was 80 times that we said your name today, and you don't have to be upset. So, all right, let's try this.
Do you have to unmute everybody?
Well, you just say it anyway.
Okay.
We'll just say it. Don't have to unmute. All right. 1, 2, 3. Hewie.
Hewie.
There we go.
We missed you, Hewie.
There we go. So he's gonna watch this tonight, and he'll be tickled pink that we mentioned his name 80 times in the first 3 minutes, right? So he can't be upset. So, excuse me, I'm having trouble with my voice today. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Tech for Senior. We have a great show for you today. For those of you who are over on our YouTube feed, we of course are streaming this to YouTube. So we have people in our Zoom meeting today. Thank you for coming. And we're going to, in our Zoom meeting, we will have the meeting for an hour. Then we'll, of course, have our question and answer period for 20 minutes. And then we give you about a 10-minute break, and then we move into our premiere service. For those of you over on the Zoom side, we're going to go for about 50 minutes just before Ray's music section. We'll end the Zoom broadcast, and it looks like we have lots of room today. So if you want to we'll end the YouTube broadcast, and if you want to pop over to the Zoom meeting and participate in the question and answer, that will work out just fine. Thank you so much. This week, I want to thank so much Richard Johnson for his generous donation to the Kofi Fund. I'm going to introduce everyone today. Of course, Hewie isn't here, and Bob just left. So Bob had another presentation at 9 to do. It's a busy month for everybody. We're all getting back and doing lots of different things. So let me start with Ray. Since Ray's right next to me up here. How the heck are you doing, Ray?
I'm doing good today. Trying to fill in for Bob. It's no easy job watching all the folks come in, but I'm going to do my best.
All right. Don't forget to charge them when they're coming in. You are charging them, aren't you, Ray?
Whoops.
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 All right. And Julie, how are you doing?
I'm just doing great. I'm having a wonderful time.
So what's this? You're going to talk about cars today?
I am going to talk about the movie No Time to Die and the cars in that movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that. You're not going to spoil it for me. I haven't seen the movie yet.
No, I'm not touching the plot because I just didn't even think about the plot. I was watching the cars.
Oh, they're watching the cars. Okay. And Bill, you're going to be on Tech for Senior Live on Thursday.
On Thursday, yes.
Are you going to have some gadgets for us?
I'm going to try to collect some gadgets to talk about, so we should have lots of fun.
Very, very good. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. And we will be, for those of you who don't know about our Facebook page, we post all the latest in technology to our Facebook page. So all the latest in news articles are there. So if you want to pop over there and you want to come and have coffee and talk with us on Thursday morning, that would be great. We'll have some fun with that, Bill?
Yes, we will. I'd like to add something which has nothing to do with technology, but we're fortunate we have a member in our club who will be celebrating her 101st birthday on Thursday. And she still drives. She has a Toyota Prius that she drives back and forth to the club meetings and wherever else she might be going. She's really amazing. So
It is amazing.
I'll be wishing her a happy birthday that day.
There you go. Well, we can certainly do that. In fact, I have a birthday jingle. We'll play the birthday jingle for her. Okay.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. Or you can sing birthday song. What would you
No,
like?
you don't want to hear me sing.
No, okay. Okay. All right. All right. So let's, I wanted just to move on a bit here. I'm just going to share my screen. Let's have a look here. I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to bring up the, can everyone see that? Can you see my Pixel 6 Pro price?
Can see it.
Yes.
All right. So is everybody excited? Tuesday morning, the release of the Pixel phone. And this is, of course, the most popular leaked event that's happened over the past month. We know all about the new Pixel 6 phones. But what we were told, Bob and I, he saw this article this morning. We finally got some pricing on this because I was getting pretty depressed about it, thinking, oh man, this is going to really be crazy expensive. But it looks as though the pricing for this is going to undercut the Galaxy S21 phone. And the pricing is going to be really good. The new Pixel 6, the regular one, will be $599 US, and the Pixel 6 Pro will be $898. And so that's pretty cool. I'm so excited about this. So this will be tomorrow. Tomorrow will be in, I think, at 9:30 in the morning. If you want to watch it on YouTube, you can watch the event. The other thing I wanted just to bring up today, a news item that was this week, was Best Buy. Now, you know that I talk a lot about Best Buy, and since Corey Berry took over the company about, I think it was about 7 or 8 years ago, the company has really changed a lot. And they've brought out and the reason I wanted to mention this, they brought out a new product that I think some of you might be interested in. And this is called, let me see if I can just make this a bit smaller. There we go. This is called Total Tech. Now, they did have a similar program like this last year. And they had 3 million subscribers. So it was a very popular program. They've changed it now to Total Tech, and the price is $199 for a year membership. Now, why is that important? Well, first of all, what you get for that is free geek support, which is 24/7. You have up to 24 months of product protection. You get free delivery. I just ordered a large TV from Best Buy, and the $50 delivery. So if you order large appliances, it's quickly going to save you some money on that. And also standard installation. I ordered a dishwasher a couple of months ago from Best Buy, and I had to have it installed. And the installation fee was around $180. So that would be included in this price as well, along to VIP access to membership, exclusive prices, free 2-day shipping, and it extends the return. So you can buy something and use it for an extended 60-day period, take it back and get your money back, along with savings on all sorts of other things. And this is, so if you are planning large purchases or you're planning on having something installed, this can be a very good product, and it's for a year. It's going to be about $200. It's $200. Not available in Canada, only in the US. So just wanted everybody. They just brought this out last week, and I thought, well, it's pretty interesting. If you are struggling with tech, you're worried about buying stuff, and you're thinking about some large appliances coming, that might be something that you may think about. All right. This is the time and what I say, Bob, are you ready to go? And Bob says, yep. So I'm going to take it over and say, Bob, are you ready to go? And he's going to say, yep. So let me just come over here and we'll get on with it.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending October 15th, 2021. Google pulls ads for stalkerware. Google pulled several ads for violating its policy against promoting stalkerware, surveillance app that encourage users to spy on their spouses or significant others. TechCrunch found 5 app makers skirting Google's no-tolerance policy in various ways, such as using the ad to send users to a web page that then pushed the stalkerware angle. The app developers took advantage of the gray areas in the policy, which allowed ads for surveillance apps targeted at parents to keep track of their children or workplaces to keep track of their employees' devices. We do not allow ads promoting spyware for partner surveillance, a Google spokesperson told TechCrunch. We immediately remove the ads promoting spyware for partner surveillance. A Google spokesperson told TechCrunch, we immediately remove the ads that violate this policy and will continue to track emerging behaviors to prevent bad actors from trying to evade our detection systems. Avast security evangelist Louis Carones feels this is a step in the right direction. Stalkerware is a growing threat. In the last couple of years, it has increased dramatically. Last year alone, after COVID-19 lockdown measures were applied, we saw a 51% increase in the use of stalkerware and spyware apps. At Avast, we have been focusing our effort on protecting against these threats. Avast is part of the Coalition Against Stalkerware. Singapore rolls out patrol robot trial. For 3 weeks in September, the Singapore government performed a trial run on 2 patrol robots, one monitoring a housing estate and the other a shopping center. The robots were on wheels and equipped with 7 cameras each. Their function was to detect undesirable social behavior, which included smoking in prohibited areas, parking bicycles improperly, and breaching coronavirus social distancing rules. The government says the robots are needed to address a labor crunch, but some residents find the increasing amount of surveillance in the country unnerving. For more on this story, see The Guardian. Intuit warns of QuickBook phishing attacks. An email phishing campaign impersonating QuickBooks is trying to steal phony renewal payments from users. Intuit warned its customers that this was an ongoing campaign, and it advised its customers who received one of the messages not to click any links embedded in the email or open any attachments. According to Bleeping Computer, another email phishing scam preying on QuickBooks customers is an attempt to get users to call a phone number in order to upgrade to QuickBooks 2021. Once victims call the number, they are guided through a process that results in the scammers gaining full control of the account. CIA funding arm invests $1.6 million in Wicker. Encrypted chat platform Wicker has received about $1.6 million from In-Q-Tel, a nonprofit investment firm started by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, according to public disclosure records reviewed by Motherboard. Amazon Web Services acquired Wicker in June, which was after the fund had been transferred. Wicker seemed to be the U.S. government's preferred vendor for encryption, as the Department of Defense uses a Wicker product and the U.S. Customs and Border Protection has a $900,000 contract with the company. Google activating two-step verification by default for millions of accounts. In a blog post titled Making Sign-In Safer and More Convenient, Google announced that by the end of 2021, it would auto-enroll 150 million users in two-step verification. The company said it would also require 2 million YouTube creators to turn on two-step verification by the end of the year. Two-step verification has been core to Google's own security practices, and today we make it seamless for our users with a Google prompt, which requires a simple tap on your mobile device to prove it's really you trying to sign in. The blog post said, Google is choosing to auto-enroll users because it said, we know the best way to keep our users safe is to turn on our security protection by default. Two-step verification is another term for multi-factor authentication, which helps all users stay secure. Linked out in China. Microsoft will shut down LinkedIn in China in response to increasing regulations and censorship, company officials said yesterday. Debuting in the country in 2014, the professional networking site has become the last major American social platform left in the Chinese market. The decision comes despite years of LinkedIn attempting to comply with government demands, including blocking journalists' profiles from being viewed. Twitter and Facebook were blocked in 2009, while Google exited China in 2010 and dropped a follow-up effort known as Project Dragonfly in 2018 that would have complied with Beijing's censorship demands. Microsoft said it would introduce a separate jobs-only app in the country later this year. China's government has developed the world's most extensive and restrictive internet censorship infrastructure. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. Gen Z doesn't care about online privacy, but maybe they should. Gen Z is the first generation to grow up as true digital natives. But even though these people grew up online, Gen Z doesn't appear as concerned about online privacy and security as older generations. We walk through how to help guide and protect members of Gen Z as they move into adulthood. For more, follow the link listed below. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you, Bob. Bob, wherever you are, thank you so much for a great talk. We're now going to, just going to mute all. We had a little background noise there. If you have to unmute, just unmute yourself. We're going to move on now, and we're going to go into James Bond. Hey, Dewey, we're going to learn all about Cars and the new movie. This should be exciting.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is No Time to Die, Cars in the Movie. On July 26th, my Tech Talk news update ended with a somewhat whimsical item regarding British automaker Aston Martin's then recent unveiling of its $1.3 million hybrid plug-in supercar, the Valhalla, implying that it would play a part in the upcoming movie, James Bond film, No Time to Die. Publicity about the Friday, October 8th theater's only release of No Time to Die were rampant several weeks ago. At the spur of the moment on Saturday afternoon, the 9th, I decided to see the movie at a nearby theater. My seat was dead center and close to a huge rounded screen. And before the main feature, a special film demonstrated the theater's incredible Dolby Atmos multi-dimensional sound. The clear and immersive soundscape was absolutely amazing, marred only by the theater's rock concert loud audio levels, which I hate so much. As for James Bond and that stunning Aston Martin Valhalla, Bond was never seen behind the wheel of one. However, the Valhalla does appear briefly in one scene during Bond's phone call with a fellow called M, who happens to be in a wind tunnel standing in front of a gleaming Valhalla. That was puzzling, and I was disappointed. But as a guy with the car gene in my DNA, I relished the wide variety of vehicles driven by Bond, and of course, driven mostly in high-speed chase scenes. Lots of fun. Afterwards, I found an article on No Time to Die with lots of car photos at motorauthority.com. It had just been published hours earlier, and I'd like to share some photos and tech stuff on the filming of No Time to Die. The photo here at the right shows Dan Craig, James Bond 007, with the original classic 1963 Aston Martin DB5. Actually, 10 DB5 models were used in multiple chase scenes in No Time to Die, 2 real ones and 8 replicas. Thanks to technology and Neil Layton, shown here, the film's action vehicle supervisor coordinator, neither of the 2 real DB5s was harmed in the filming. Layton's company worked with Aston Martin to produce the 8 fully functional replicas, which you couldn't tell from the originals, in just 6 months. Layton's DB5 replicas were built on a special chassis wrapped with carbon fiber bodies and used powerful inline 6-cylinder engines speculated to be BMW's 382 horsepower 3-liter turbo. Each stunt car had a racing pedal box type tranny, a quick steering rack, a limited slip differential, and a racing safe driver's seat in a roll cage. Some cars could even be driven remotely from a quarter of a mile away. Amazing technology. The DB5 stars in a memorable scene in which Bond does donuts with his DB5 while machine guns popping out from the headlights are mowing down a bevy of bad guys. I'll tell you, it was absolutely beautiful. Other vehicles driven by James Bond in No Time to Die include a 1974 Aston Martin Vantage V8 that sort of resembles a Ford Mustang of that era, a recent model Aston Martin DBS Super Leggera, which is a 715 horsepower coupe that would set you back over 300 grand US and even more in Canada. By the way, it's speculated to be the car of choice for Bond's 007 successor, a Black woman named Nomi. And now I've let the secret out. Nomi is the new 007, and she's in this movie. Also, among the vehicles, there was a vintage Land Rover Series 3 SVR model. 6 SVRs were used in filming No Time to Die, and 2 of them happened to meet their demise. And also an early 2000 Toyota Land Cruiser caught here in midair. And finally, in one of the most exciting moments in No Time to Die, Bond is barreling down a cobblestone street. This is in an Italian village like the one in my background, trying to escape a pack of nasty guys driving Jaguar XF sedans. Bond rounds the corner to see villagers leaving church right after a funeral. And so he aims left and rockets up a steep stone staircase and launches over a stone wall at the top. Marvelous animation, I thought. But it wasn't animation. It was a real Triumph scrambler, an expert rider, and a real jump. This very grainy photo of the jump seems to be the only one available. The motorcycle is shown, if you look carefully in the center of the photo, upper center, it's shown in midair, vaulting over the wall. It was just incredible. Of course, it wasn't actor Dan Craig riding, but rather a professional cyclist named Paul Edmondson, a 5-time world enduro bike champion, doing it on his 50th birthday. Well, that should give a lot of hope to senior citizens. In fact, he also did the jump a number of times in rehearsals. And if you'd like to see this without going to the movie, there are a number of videos available of this, of him doing this on YouTube. Just do a search in YouTube and use these words, you'll find it right away. No Time to Die motorcycle jump. Use those words and you'll get to see it many times over. Switching gears, when Britain's Prince Charles turned 21 in 1969, his mother, Queen Elizabeth, gifted him a new 1970 Aston Martin DB6 convertible. This recent photo shows Prince Charles and his 51-year-old beauty. Boy, I'd love to have that car. In a story videotaped a week ago, Britain's Prince Charles was asked about the large carbon footprint at his elegant British estate. He replied, telling of his many and constant efforts to reduce the footprint, saying, "In fact, my old Aston Martin runs on wine and cheese." Oh, amazing statement. The environmentally conscious Prince clarified his assertion by saying his blue Aston Martin, the one you saw in the photo, was modified back in 2008 to run on, it was his request, to run on environmentally friendly surplus white wine and cheese waste, that is waste byproducts that are converted to a biofuel and then blended with 15% E85 fuel. Factory engineers were startled when the engine actually ran better on this special biofuel than on regular petrol. News articles on this startling revelation are easy to find. Also, you can find the 15-minute video interview of Prince Charles on YouTube by searching Prince Charles Aston Martin wine and cheese. Just use those words. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today. Gosh, I've had so much fun. I am going to stick with this one. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and good Lord willing, we'll see you next week.
Well done. Well done. So interesting. Excellent, Dewey. Is that going to be your new? Is that going to be your new car?
Oh, gee, which one?
I went to see. I was going to say I went to see that movie and I didn't catch any of those cars, so I don't know what I was watching.
Were you at
They
the right
were all
movie?
there.
After you reviewed it, I think I see the ones I missed.
Dude, have you seen the Michelin YouTube video? They reinvented the wheel. It's a tire without air.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. That.
All right, Ray, you've got something for us today?
So most of you have seen the music in the car presentation I did a few weeks back, and I'm learning with this type of topic that there's always something new coming out. So I've added a few new slides to my presentation, and I've learned that this, as I said, the automobile infotainment systems really are, let me just move this out of my way here. It's constantly changing and goes well beyond just playing your favorite tunes while driving on the interstate or down the road. So I've had to update the music in the car presentation by adding additional slides. And as you know, I do this for computer clubs around the country as part of the APCUG Speakers Bureau. So today I'm going to share some of the latest information I've added. So you, the loyal fans of Tech for Senior, will be seeing these new slides for the first time. Now, the first slide I'm going to show you is one from the earlier presentation, just as a reminder. I was talking about the time about other options, and I mentioned that they include Android Auto, and I mentioned that they include Apple's CarPlay. These are where your phones are connected to your infotainment system through the USB port in the car. And then I also talked a little bit about Amazon Echo Auto, just what you need by adding the A app to your phone in your car. So now a little bit more about what Android Auto is. The pros of it, and this is the biggest pro. Many cars, when you order the navigation system from the factory, that could cost as much as $800 just to add that to the car, brand new car. So by just plugging in your Android phone, you can use the map program on your screen. And then the use of the phone features that you are familiar with, such as music apps. So as an example, you don't have to replicate all your favorite songs with a flash drive for the car head unit. You can just use your Android phone and the music app on that phone. And then, of course, using the words, "Okay, Google," you can get to your destination with real-time updates while en route, including perhaps traffic delays. You can check your calendar events, listen to news, podcast programs. You can even ask your web browser questions to get an answer. The cons, though, there's always cons. The cell phone uses the data, which can add up if you don't have an unlimited plan. And the cell phone, for now, needs to be plugged into the car's USB port. I've seen some wireless methods that require third-party apps, and they seem to be convoluted to install and actually operate. But I bet you improvements to this method are being developed as I speak. Now, my cell phone only has 4 gigabytes of RAM, and it really seems sluggish when responding to commands using Android Auto. So this is what happens when you plug in your Android phone to the USB connection in your car. Your screen now shows, instead of what would be standard for that screen, it's showing you your icons that come with the Android phone. So in my particular case, I had two screen sets. And the first one gives me the maps, gives me YouTube music. But let's say I want to listen to news as I'm driving. I could bring up news. Here's my second set of options, messages. I have a button on my phone for podcasts. There's a few podcasts I like to listen to. So rather than listening to music, I can easily bring up these podcasts. So having your Android phone plugged in does give you a lot more options than the head unit by itself provides. Now, here's a term you're going to be hearing about more in the future. And I want to mention the differences between Android Auto and Android Automotive. So as I talked about Android Auto, you use your phone connected via USB, and you will be able to experience through the car's compatible vehicle and infotainment system all the type of apps that are on your phone. But what is Android Automotive? Well, that's an actual operating system that's running the in-vehicle hardware and providing the infotainment experience. So this will be an option for new cars. In fact, it probably is now on certain new cars, where if you're buying a brand new car, you can say, I want to have the Android Automotive option, and that will be built into, and that will be the operating system. And that's going to be able to, this new car will replace the head units for older cars. What about Apple CarPlay? Well, if you connect your iPhone to your car's infotainment system, you'll be able to access all the apps that are on your phone and iPhone, including Siri. Siri can, with voice operation, allow you safer driving because you're using voice commands. Same way, connection is made via the car's USB port. Wireless connectivity is available, but it's not common. This, again, is somewhat of a newer technology that they're still trying to work the kinks out. But Apple CarPlay brings a familiar interface for iPhone users, but only to cars that support it. And by using Apple Music or other compatible music streaming services, your song selection can be chosen using Siri. So to use CarPlay, you need at least an iPhone 5 or newer running the iOS 7.1 version or later. And again, it all has to be on a car that or vehicle that supports this. Hey, just imagine the infotainment system that's going to be in the eventual Apple electric car. And last but not least is the Echo Auto. I'm not going to use the A word. And this is hands-free Echo in the car. And so there's an example. There's a cell phone and that small little device laying next to it. That's what the Echo Auto is. So again, it's hands-free in your car. Mostly all the features you would use at home are now available on the road. And it connects either via Bluetooth or, and this is really important, with the auxiliary wired connection on the older vehicles. I think it's a bit pricey at $50. So I ordered a certified refurbished for under $20. Now it hasn't come yet. I'm expecting it this week. And as soon as I get a chance to test it out, more details will follow. So that's it. And let me stop sharing. And I am back.
Thanks, Ray. That's really interesting. Lots more to come on that. Wow, what a changing technology, eh?
And every day there's something new coming out, like I said. So this is a presentation that is going to always be updated, I think, at least for the near term.
I get so confused with all the different terminologies. Like, you know, it's so similar. Yeah.
Imagine Android Auto and Android Automotive. I think most people would think that was the same. But
it's crazy. Eh? All right, Hewie, are you ready to roll? Yes, I am. So here we are.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hubs, extensions, docking stations, UPSs, and more. I'm Hewie Poplock. Today we're going to talk about connecting to your computer or from your computer. First, we're going to talk about hubs. Now, what are hubs? Hubs are something you plug into your computer to give you more plugs. This one is one that sits under a blue iMac. Here is a typical hub. This is an Anchor USB-C hub, 5-in-1 USB-C adapter. You'll see that at the end, it plugs into your USB-C port on your computer, whichever computer you're using. You then can plug in two USB 3 devices. You can plug in an HDMI to send it to a projector or to another screen. And you can also put in an SD card or a micro SD card and have it read it. This is a very simple device that allows you to have an SD card or a mini SD card reader by plugging into your USB-C port. It also is a USB-C device, plugs into your computer in the USB-C port. You can have an audio jack there. There's a USB-C slot. There's two USB-A slots. There's two HDMI ports. There's a gigabit Ethernet connector. I have on my computer, it's a 16-port USB data hub and charger, and gives me 16 USB ports with individual switches for each one. They have stowaways where you can put the connector so it is not lost, it doesn't catch on anything, and it's easy to travel with. You don't want it dangling because it could pull out, get caught, or eventually loosen up the cable and be unusable. Now, what about a docking station? Well, one of my computers, I had to purchase a docking station because one of my ports didn't work any longer. And so this is a USB docking station. It would connect to the host, in other words, to the computer, using a USB cable. It also is powered, and it gave me extra ports, including two USB 3 ports, audio in and audio out, some USB 2 ports, an Ethernet port, and then an HDMI and a DVI port so that I could connect to either monitors or projectors that need one or both of those connectors. Now, what about an extension cord for your computer or for your devices? Here's one that's called an octopus. And what it does, it gives you 4 extensions from one plug, but they are individualized so that if you have to put a power block on them, they're not going to interfere with each other and block one of the connectors. Here is something that I've been using for years, and these are 1-foot extensions. This allows me to have several blocks on a power strip. Talking about power strips and surge protectors. You'll see here that we have power strip, surge protector, power strip with USB, and just a power strip but with a flat plug. These are all various types of power strips and surge protectors that you can buy. So, a power strip gives you the ability to plug multiple devices into a single wall outlet. A surge protector is a type of power strip which is specifically designed to withstand a power surge and keep your electronics safe. A power strip offers no additional protection. If there's a surge, then your expensive TV can get fried and destroyed. A power strip does nothing besides give you extra sockets to plug into and an easy on-off switch. If you want any protection at all, you need a surge protector. A surge protector is designed to create a protective barrier around the products plugged into the protector. And you want to look for joules rating on the packaging. Only surge protectors will have this rating. Joules are a unit of measurement for energy, like watts or calories. They measure how long your appliance will be protected. Sometimes it may only take one massive surge in power to exceed the number of joules that your equipment is protected against. But sometimes it could take 10 or 15 little surges to do this. Keep in mind that the number of joules your power strip protects against works somewhat like a reservoir. When you initially purchase your surge protector, you may see a label of 2,000 joules, but this will deplete over time. As your surge protector takes hits from the power strikes, the level of protection will diminish, either in one massive strike or over time. An older surge protector may not be protecting you at all. What is an electrical power surge? An electrical power surge is a spike in your building's electrical current that usually lasts less than a second. Although a voltage surge is brief, it can cause damage to both your electronics and your appliances. In extreme cases, a power surge can even cause a fire. These spikes in power can occur for a few reasons. Faulty wiring. When you have faulty wiring that cannot withstand the electrical power of a voltage surge, you are more susceptible to them. High-powered devices turning on or off. When the motor of a high-powered device, like an air conditioning unit or a refrigerator, turns on, you may be subjected to a fluctuation in power. The lights may dim. Might be an indication of that. Lightning strike. A lightning strike can cause severe voltage surge, which can burn out TVs, computers, and so on. So, a surge protectors are power strips that absorb excess power surges. A power strip is a power box with sockets to attach plugs. So, some tips on power strips. Surge protectors or power strips. What one are you trying to purchase? And make sure you know which one you're getting. Joules are a measure of protection. So if it lists how many joules, you want to take a look at that. And that means you're getting a surge protector. Some come with a warranty on your stuff. So if the surge gets through it and damages your device, you may be able to get it from that power strip company. Why you probably don't need a power conditioner. A power conditioner is different than a power strip or a surge protector. A power conditioner is when you get fluctuations in your electricity. In other words, like a brownout is a condition of power. You're still getting power, but you're not getting enough of it. And so some UPSs have power conditioning built into them. And so if you have that issue in your building or in your room or in your apartment, your home, you might want to consider a UPS that has power conditioning. Always get more outlets than you need right now because you're going to need them. Get one with enough spacing for the big plugs or get those little extensions like I had. But if you get it with the spacing already there, it does make a difference. And it's less things to plug in and less things to worry about. Power spikes can come through or to phone or cable lines too. And USB is great, but check the amps. And so you might want to make sure that you are getting enough power in those USB plugs in that power strip. If you're traveling, get a portable power strip because a lot of times when you're in a hotel, they are very limited in the number of plugs. And if you put your own strip in there, you can put 2 or 3 devices at the same time. Remember that none of these last forever, and you do need to replace them. That old power strip or that old surge protector may need to be replaced. Now, we talked about joules. A joule rating tells you how much energy the surge protector can absorb and thus safely protect the equipment plugged into it. The higher the joule rating, the more robust the surge protector and the longer it will likely protect. Joule ratings are one of the first features you'll see noted on the product box. If you don't see it, that should be a red flag. That means you're either buying a power strip that has no surge protection or the rating is so low that the manufacturer chose not to call it out. Anyone serious about protecting their device from surge and their homes from a potential fire should stay away from any power product that does not have a solid joule rating. Now, what about UPSs or uninterruptible power sources, not the brown trucks? When should you use a UPS? An uninterruptible power source gives peace of mind that your work and your devices are protected in the event of a brownout or a total loss of power. Many UPS devices allow multiple outlets for connecting your entire system or a number of important appliances or accessories. Consider using a UPS all the time for your desktop computer to ensure that you never suffer data loss. Understanding that a UPS will not provide a long-term power supply to finish working is important to your satisfaction level as an end user. In the event of a power loss, use the UPS to give yourself enough time to save your work and find an alternate power source or to shut down. Now, when do you use both a UPS and a surge protector? If you're trying to decide between a UPS and a surge protector, remember that you may not need both at the same time. That said, you can certainly use these devices independently to prepare your equipment for possible voltage spikes, brownouts, and power outages. Plug your valuable or complex electronics into the power strip and use the UPS for your computer and other devices where you may lose work if the power goes out. Plug printers and other accessories into power strips with surge protection. Divide and conquer to ensure all your devices are safely protected from excess voltage during an unexpected power surge. When using UPS and surge protectors, especially when using both devices at the same time, there are some important safety tips to keep in mind. Don't plug a surge protector into a UPS outlet. Always use a wall socket instead to avoid drawing too much power from your UPS, resulting in efficient user experience and possibly triggering an overload. Don't plug a UPS into a surge protector. Likewise, it's not generally advisable to plug your uninterrupted power source into a surge protector either. Plugging the UPS directly into the wall helps ensure the most consistent power goes directly to the UPS and limits the times it will go to battery when it should remain online. This helps the UPS to remain charged for immediate response, and built-in surge protection adds that layer of defense that also comes standard with a surge protector. Get the right number of outlets. When purchasing either a UPS or surge protector or power strip, one important consideration is the number of outlets. Of course, you want to buy a device with enough outlets to support the number of devices that you want to plug in. It can be a good idea to purchase a device with more outlets than you need now, so you'll have some extra room to plug in any new devices you add to your setup. For surge protectors, check absorption ratings and clamping voltage. When purchasing a surge protector, two important specs are the absorption rating and clamping voltage. The absorption rating is how much power the surge protector can withstand in a surge. Look for surge protectors with an absorption rating of at least 600 joules. The clamping voltage is the voltage at which the surge protector will be activated to protect your equipment. Look for devices with a clamping voltage of 400 volts or lower. Here are some UPSs. Now here's a chart showing the run times on UPSs. Obviously you can't read that. What I did is I summarized a few items so you get an idea. But what you're mostly looking at is at a very low wattage, you can get a couple hours out of a UPS. But if you've got a computer plugged into it and a couple other items in the UPS portion of the plug, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that in the next couple of slides, you want to shut them down. So this is a typical UPS. Actually, it's a UPS 850. That they're showing there. Here's what the back of a UPS looks like. Notice there are two sets of plugs. One is a battery backup and the other is a surge suppressor. So you don't need an external surge suppressor. You can plug some items in here, and if it goes to battery, those items will shut off. And the battery backup side, those plugs will remain on as long as there's battery, even without power. So then you want to power down the items using a lot of battery so that it will last longer. You'll notice also your network in and out. So if you've got network cables, you can actually be suppressing and protecting network cabling as well with this particular UPS. Here is another UPS. This is a 450 volt amp from a different company. And again, you'll see that there are some devices that are surge protected and some items that are battery protected. And the battery protected ones are also surge protected. So in summary, we talked about hubs, we talked about extensions, we talked about power strips, we talked about surge suppressors, docking stations, and uninterruptible power supply or UPSs. Thank you for joining hubs, extensions, docking stations, UPS, and more. Again, I'm Hewie Poplock. Thank you.
Wow, that was pretty good. We'll have to thank Hewie when he gets back next week. We'll please remind me to do that on next Monday morning, and we'll thank Hewie for a really great presentation. Just before we get ready for Ray's music segment, I want to thank everybody who is over on our live streaming service on YouTube. It's time for us to end the service with you. Don't forget, we do have the premiere service that we're going to start at 1:30. This is a service that we do to reuse some of the material we've done. And so I went back this last week and looked at episode number 30. And so on our premiere service at 1:30, I'm going to be talking on part 2, which is of making of tech for seniors. So this will be all about YouTube and uploading videos and editing and things like that. Dewey, this is the first time when Dewey's come on stream now a year ago where he's on our staff, and Dewey's going to talk on Zoom settings. And then Hewie's going to talk on some Chromebook issues on how to update your Chrome OS. These are pre-recorded and taken from past editions of our show. And this is for you to use with your computer club. So be sure in that it's information that's there. Everything is stripped out, so it's just simply the actual part of the show on that particular topic. All right, so I'm just going to say, Ray, I think we're ready for you to go. I'm just going to stop the live stream, and we'll let you get going with your toe tapping music.
It won't be toe tapping today.
No toe tapping?
No toe, sorry. No toe tapping right now.
All right.
Instead, we're going to be talking today about an artist that I really liked, Janis Ian. And at one time, they were saying she might be the female Bob Dylan. So my collection actually includes 6 of the first Janis Ian LPs that I purchased back in the 60s and 70s, and included her 3rd album, and that had a funny title. It was The Secret Life of J. Eddie Fink. Now, for years, I thought, what an odd name for a record release, until much later I learned Janis Eddie Fink was her birth name when she was born in New York on April 7th, 1951. Now, a sentence from the liner notes on her first self-titled LP. Now, she was about 14 or 15 years old at the time, and she composed all 11 songs as a young teenager. It read, Janis Ian is clearly one of the most important new voices and new writers in the folk, pop, rock world. Now, at the time, some were calling her the female Bob Dylan, but she didn't like that. She didn't like that moniker at all. Now, that first album contained the song Society's Child. That was released as a single in 1967. And even though the song reached number 14 on the Billboard charts, there was much controversy at the time due to its reference to an interracial romance. In fact, the song was banned by quite a few radio stations. It took 8 years for Janis Ian to have another top 100 hit, but it was a huge one in 1975 with the release of At 17. That reached number 3 on the pop charts. And the song was also contained on the album Between the Lines, and that made it to number 1 on the Billboard charts. And the song has been described as a bittersweet commentary on adolescent cruelty. I guess some things never change. At 17 won the 1976 Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance and allowed Ian to be this is important, she was the first musical guest on the series premiere, the very first Saturday Night Live show back in 1975. One might say that Janis Ian has achieved only limited success based solely on the chart positions of her 2 most famous songs, but she has a loyal following that continues into the 21st century. So the clip I'm showing today is from 2006. It appears to be a home recording, and there's no studio, just her and her guitar. And I'm thoroughly impressed at how her voice has hardly changed over 30 years, and that she still delivers the same raw emotion needed to give the song the meaningfulness it deserves. Okay, let me just go back and make one change here as I normally do.
Thanks, Ray. That's great. Yes, well done. Well done. Yes, very good. And you know something? We finished right at 10 o'clock, right at time perfectly to the last minute. So we did it. So thanks everyone today for coming. That's been an absolute great show today. We look forward to having Hewie back next week. We're going to move into the question and answer part of the show. So if you have a question and you want to ask, if you look down in your reaction center there, you'll see on the reactions button, open that up and just raise your hand, and that allows you to pop up on the top of our screen and we can acknowledge you, because I can't see all the screens as we're watching. So just click on that. Just if you have to leave and you want to come back, remember our premiere service. This is YouTube calls it premiere. We just basically what it is it's a video that's going to be starting at 10:30 or half past the hour. And so if you want to go over to our YouTube channel and watch it, as I said, I'll be talking on the second part of creating tech for senior, and Dewey's going to be talking on Zoom setting, and Hewie's going to be talking on how to update your Chrome operating system on a Chromebook. So something for everybody there. So if you want to watch that at half past the hour, that'll be great. We have Ray's with us still. We have Bill James, myself, and Dewey. So we're open to any questions, or you just want to yak or talk, whatever you want to do. I just had a comment, Ray, on my cell phone. What I do is I have an older truck, and I have a Bluetooth adapter. I just plug into the line in feature, and the Bluetooth comes to my phone. So it was like a $10 item, and I plug it in there and turn it on, and it allows my phone to, of course, work through the truck and all the speakers. It works great. It's just a Bluetooth adapter into the line in, eh?
Yeah, well, it's actually you plug it into the DC power. That's where it gets its power from, and then that provides the Bluetooth feature.
Well, this one actually is chargeable. This is you charge it up, and then you just plug it into the line in, and then it broadcasts to the phone, and so the Bluetooth, it's just a device it connects to.
What happens when the battery runs out?
Well, it lasts a long time. You don't have to charge about once a month, but there is a charging port on the bottom of it, which is a Type-C, and I have a Type-C adapter that goes into a multi-charging sort of thing that I plug into the DC section, that converts it. So, but I don't have to. It lasts usually a month or so. It doesn't take much power.
My wife's older car doesn't have Bluetooth, so I have an adapter that plugs into the DC power supply, and that provides the power all the time as long as the car is running.
Yeah, sure. Does indeed. So do we have any questions today? Did everyone like the closed captioning feature? Did anyone use that today? And I think it's such a cool feature, particularly if you have any hearing problems. So please use that service if you think you need it. Stephen, go ahead.
Ron, if I can, I'll address this comment or question to you. You're saying about you've got the premiere service that's coming up right after this, and you have the live stream that comes on Thursday. Mm-hmm. I have the YouTube page usually expanded. So my eye immediately goes to the live stream in the center of the page. Live stream does not show up for the service that's directly following. It's down in the suggested links down the right-hand side for at least what I'm viewing. Depending on how large I have the page blown up, it could be off screen. So I don't even see that it's available as an option to select after the meeting is over. Could it not be up like the same way the Thursday live stream warning or notification is up there right in the top center of the page?
No, because it's two different services. So what we do on Thursday is we don't use a Zoom meeting at all. What we do is we use a service called StreamYard. And for StreamYard, we actually broadcast it to YouTube and we broadcast it to Facebook. So you can watch it on either one. And so when it comes in from StreamYard into YouTube, it's different. And you can see it now. I just posted it this morning. If you look on our YouTube page, you'll see it says upcoming event and it's da-da-da, and it'll list our meeting on Thursday. So it is, but of course you won't, so it is, but of course the premiere event is a YouTube feature. It's just a recording that I put up there like any YouTube video. We've got just under 400 videos on the site. And what it is it's a way of So it's handled a little bit different because it's actually not there until it's shown, right? So it's a little bit different way of viewing it. I appreciate it. It's confusing. That is a YouTube. There's nothing really we can do about that. That is the way YouTube is. The links are all on our website. So if you click the links on the website, it should take you right to where you want to go though.
I know I can go back and I can review them and I can find them at any time. Now that I'm familiar with it, I know where to look.
Right.
But as a new person
Yes.
coming,
Yes.
I look down that summary list on the right-hand side, and as I say, if I have my page too large at the time or too expanded, it won't even show up as being available to click and activate it after. So I must admit, I missed one or two of your repeat programs because I didn't see the link. And
But once they're broadcasted, once they're up there, they're there forever. Okay, so if you
Yes.
you can go back and look at them. You don't really miss them. You just don't see them at the time they're being coming on.
now, also, are you guys in the background for the chat, or is that like in real time? And my other question is, why do I have to log into YouTube to let them know what I'm doing? Like, why would I not be able to just chat with you openly?
So we don't monitor in the Premier service, the one that comes on at 1/2 past. No, we're not monitoring the chat in that situation. It's just the we're playing. I've created the video, we've uploaded it, and we're not monitoring. There is nobody there, and there is no. We're not monitoring the chat in that situation.
Okay. The Thursday one, though, you do, yes?
We do, yes. That's on our StreamYard show, and that for sure. We like people to comment on chat, but the chat in that, yes, for sure, that's monitored, and that's. But we have two different streams on that, so you can either be in Facebook or in YouTube, and the chats for both those come into our StreamYard studio.
I am against Big Brother kind of keeping an eye on everything I'm doing and then listing and following every move I make. So I honestly don't like the login part. Could it not be just an open chat without YouTube sticking its nose in there?
No, YouTube wants to know where you're from. It's a Google thing.
No kidding. Yeah. No, they collect a lot of information.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay. Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, my experience with the UPS uninterruptible power supplies is that I have a 500 VA APC and a 1000 VA that I got at Costco. I forget the brand that they sell. In both cases, I've replaced the batteries after about 5 years. The problem is you don't know they're bad until you lose power and they don't work. I use it to back up my router and my which contains the Wi-Fi, so that when I do have an outage, I don't lose my internet access. And of course, with a laptop, I have power.
Yeah, it's interesting. In one of our medical offices, when I was practicing, we had in the administration area, we had a computer that started, the UPS started beeping on that was plugged into this computer, and I was. It was one of our billing clerks, and she kept coming in to see me. She said, "This thing's beeping at me. The UPS is beeping all the time that was powering this computer." And I thought, that's really odd. Are we running into problems? So I was standing in the administration office, and someone went down to the photocopier, which was in the same room, turned on the photocopier and was photocopying some pages, and immediately the UPS on the computer started beeping. And again, what Hewie said is that you have to be careful on a circuit, particularly with laser printers, photocopiers, and things like that, because it can draw significant power, and in this case was drawing enough to turn on the UPS. So be careful in your homes if you have a laser printer that's going to, it may, particularly, I wouldn't plug it into the same system that you've got all your computers plugged into. George, you're probably an expert on this. You're sort of an engineer. What have you got anything to say about this?
Yeah, I was going to say, if your UPS doesn't require a computer plugged in through a USB or something to communicate with it, You can test it with a light bulb that is about the same wattage as your computer. Plug it in, turn off the power to unplug the UPS from the AC power, and see how when the light bulb dies, and that tells you how long. You should do that once a year.
Yeah, that's a very simple way of doing it. But the other frustrating thing is, I know when we closed one of our medical offices, I had 10 of those UPSs in my house here. And, they're all like 5 to 10 years old. And it's such a waste because there's nothing to do with those things. I know you can replace the batteries, but oftentimes the batteries are about the price of a new unit. Eh?
You're about half the price. I've done it a couple of times.
Oh, is that? Yeah.
The other thing that I add, I
Canada.
plug in a lamp. So if the power goes off at night, at least there's a light on in the office where I can see what I'm doing.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, good idea. George, did you have any more comments? You're muted. You're finished? Okay. Joel, go ahead.
Working with UPS is in part of professional equipment. All the batteries will die. You have to be careful when you select your model because some of the less expensive do not have access doors. So just be ready for that. My more important question, and I don't have a good answer for, is the joule rating and use in a surge protector. I understand what the joule rating is and what's going on with the metal oxide varistors or MOVs, but I do not know and ask for anybody's experience. How can you tell if the MOV or the surge protector circuitry has been partially consumed by small strikes?
Right.
I don't know when to change my surge protector.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a really good question. When Hewie brought this up, I thought, well, how do you know?
There's not really a good way to do it. MOVs are disk type devices that are placed, 3 of them in the circuit, A to B, A to ground, and B to ground. And they look like disk capacitors if you've ever built one. And it's the material between the 2 plates that does the work and also establishes the switching, the turn on voltage, as Hewie said.
Mm-hmm.
Is I don't know of any way of testing them besides putting a strike on them and watching it with an oscilloscope. So I don't know. Maybe Hewie knows and has some better background. I don't know of any way of a homeowner checking a home.
Yeah. Sorry,
to
I think
change a light strip.
Yeah. George, do you know? You don't know of any way of doing it. I guess the option is if it's 5 years old, you need a new one.
Yeah, and it matters where you are. As someone said in the chat, here in southern Florida, we get 1 to 5 second power outages, could be once a week. I know that because some of my home equipment does not self-reset, and I have to go around resetting the clock on my microwave oven and toaster and things like that.
Right.
I do have 3 UPSs, but they're sized to try to just ride through a 5-second power outage because it takes 15 minutes for my cable TV box to reset. So I invested $40 in a low power UPS for my cable TV box, and it will ride through a 5-second outage. Jim, if I understand your location, you probably are subject to that headache also. So
it's not been a problem here, Joel. It used to be all the time, as you say, every day or every couple of days, it would be out for a couple of minutes. I have UPSs on my internet incoming equipment, and I have a different, bigger UPS on my computer system here now that and so all of my important stuff will stay on.
Where are you?
We're in Fort Lauderdale, Oakland
Oh,
Park.
okay. I'm in
I'm just
Orlando.
north of you and
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've got
But
a
that's-
question for everybody. I just bought a new fancy schmancy 65-inch television, right? And so it's arriving shortly. And so should I plug this into a UPS? Now, having said that, well,
Yes.
Jim's saying yes, but I know a lot of people that have televisions, and I've never heard of anyone having a fried television.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You have?
well,
Well,
also almost all UPSs have surge protectors built into them on both the battery backup side
right.
and the non-battery or surge protector side.
Yeah, I think they all do. I've never heard of one that
Anyone,
doesn't have
anyone
both
with a
sides.
name, quality name.
Yeah.
Well,
protecting-
so you don't think that TVs, like I was wondering if they have inherently a surge protector in the circuitry in the
Don't
TV.
count on it.
Yeah, don't count on it.
Don't count on it. All
That
right.
I
would
have not
cost
seen
10
it written-
cents more.
You know,
I have not seen it.
all right, how much
Uh,
is the extended warranty on the thing?
Again, it's probably something you can get away with a low VA rated battery backup UPS on the TV. I'm not going to try to watch my 65-inch, and I don't have one that big, TV in a blackout. Part of the problem is I don't know what my cable supplier has down the block. So I may have power for my TV, but no cable feed if he doesn't have a strong UPS in his utility box, wherever that may be. So I don't count on getting a cable TV feed during an area-wide blackout. My headache is my cable box takes 10 to 15 minutes to reset after a 1-second power outage. And that's what I'm trying to protect. Similar faction.
True deal. Yeah.
In our community, they have changed from copper coax in the street to fiber optic. And when they did that, on every house, they put a fiber to copper converter in the connection box on the outside of the house. But that has to be fed with a low voltage DC, which they had to tap from inside the house. So I put a $40 low power UPS on that one item alone, because if it drops out for 1 second, every system that was getting a cable TV feed loses the feed and has to go through a complete reset. You got to think through your systems of where they are connected and what will drop out.
And everybody's different.
Right. So we have two more questions here. We got to make them quick because we only have 2 minutes left. Carl, do you have a quick question?
Yeah, I have a suggestion. I worked for a gas pipeline company, and we had our own private microwave systems, went from northern Wisconsin and Michigan out to the Gulf of Mexico. And what we did was we would, for the air conditioner units for the huts, we would make a double knot in the power cord when it came out of the outlet. I suggest you do that with your TV, and that acts as a surge protector. And it
Really?
Yeah, because it's an inductance, and surges are high frequency spikes. And they do not go through a coil. And in the old days, the telegraph lines, you would wrap the wires from the telegraph lines or whatever over a pencil, and you made a coil.
Yeah.
And that's an inductance. And inductance suppresses high impact surges. And we saved all of our air conditioner units in these huts, which are really remote, off of railroad tracks.
There you go. We learned something today. Thanks, Carl. Roberta, do you have a quick question for us before we go?
I was just going to say that I use my older battery backup and I rotate it over to the TV and the stereo equipment. That's what I do.
Okay. It's 20 past the hour. Thank you for everyone for coming. We will see Hewie back next week and the whole gang. Be sure and watch our premiere service coming on in about 10 minutes. Bill, you're ready for Thursday?
I am.
Okay.
Come and see you.
Yeah, we have a good time. Thursday is a lot of fun, the show on Thursday. So Bill's going to be with us this Thursday. as our guest, and well, not guest, you're there all the time, right? Yeah. So we usually have a really good chat with Bill. He's always got lots of gadgets and things to talk about. So come and visit us on Thursday morning, drink some coffees with us. If not, we'll see you next Monday, and I will have my final version of the misunderstood Galaxy 4 watch completed. I've got it all done now. I'm just putting up a few of the finishing touches on it, and it will be ready for next week. So we've got lots of stuff to talk about. Thanks for coming. Take care and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.